Welcome back, everybody, to Katawa Shoujo, and as you can see, another picture is on the title screen here. So we are into the fourth act, which is entitled Future. So we'll see what goes on for Lilly and Hisao and how they move their relationship forward from here on in Yamoku. After the excitement of our trip to Hokkaido, it seems strange to be right back to the usual daily routine so soon. Indeed, it feels like a normal day, the same as any other. Well, that's what I'd like to think, anyway. To tell the truth, the atmosphere of the entire class, no, the entire school has changed. While an undercurrent of subdued trepidation has previously pervaded the class, now that the exams are in sight, it's boiled over into frantic studying, rarely seen otherwise. One day until exams start. It's horrific, really. Instead of studying, we went and wasted our time up north. We were such model students, too. Misha's there, clueless as usual. Glance around the class, even the bubbly, ever-energetic Misha seems oddly deflated. She sits at her desk, nervously chewing a pin, while Muto lectures from the front of the class. I don't get this! Wait, on closer inspection, I do believe she's eating it. Turn my eyes from the sorry spectacle. I turn my attention elsewhere. Hanako sits frantically scribbling in her notebook, her face mere inches away from the page, seemingly trying to record every word that leaves Muto's mouth. Shizun's, well, Shizun. Cool as a cucumber, she sits diligently taking notes, with her attention wholly focused on the front of the class. Truth be told, it's what I should be doing as well, if not for the fact that I feel like I have a pretty good handle of what's being covered already. I wonder how Lily's doing. While she does have a good head on her, she has plenty on her plate, unlike me. Her class representative duties, taking care of Hanako, her other social contacts, her extra English studies. That girl really does take on a lot. The lunchtime bell brings a sigh of relief from the entire class, Muto being no exception. I get the feeling he much prefers the more laid-back atmosphere of his normal classes to the frantic pace of exam preparation we're subjected to right now. So I guess teachers cram for exams too? Like cram all the knowledge that they forgot to teach us like the rest of the school year? My goodness. Planning. Hee-chan. Oh dear. Help me! I lower my eyelids to half-mast, making clear my intention of doing quite the opposite. Help me, help me, help me! Not going well. Hee-chan's going to be fine, but I think I might die. Am I going to die, Hee-chan? Will you let me die from all this work? How maudlin, given that she's neither the brightest student in the class nor the most diligent. It isn't a great surprise that she's finding it hard to cope with the workload. Sorry, Misha, but I got my own work to do. I thought you and Shizun would be studying together over the long weekend anyway. Studying's too boring to waste on a holiday on, Hee-chan. Shopping together was much more fun, wasn't it, Hee-chan? It's only now that I realize Hee-chan's been looking over to us and that Misha's arms have been moving likely all this time. I must be really zoned out not to have noticed. What is with girls and shopping anyway? Even Lilly and Hanako have dragged me out with them a couple of times. But you win anyway. It's so rare to see a guy that likes to go shopping. Hey, I didn't say I like to go shopping, I just got dragged out. Well, my role would probably be best described as pack mule. I can't say I share your enthusiasm about the experience. Back to the exams. You studied after you got back from the days off, didn't you, Shizun? Of course, Hee-chan. It's only sensible to study in the days before. She just realized what she just signed. She didn't follow Shizun's wording. Misha makes it sound vaguely similar to a dying cow as she realizes her folly and unceremoniously flops onto her desk, betrayed even by her best friend. Judging from Shizun's quite frustrated look at Misha, she probably told her to study as she did. Don't worry, you can still gain some grades if you start studying now. Maybe. Misha does not seem overly amused. It seems the bubbly balloon of everlasting cheerfulness has finally been cruelly popped. Whoa. Shizun's signing goes unnoticed by the moping Misha, earning her a quick poke in the shoulder. It takes barely a moment for Misha to get back into form. Oh, so what did you do over the weekend, Hee-chan? Just took a quick trip up north with Lilly and Hanako. It was pretty nice. I see both of them narrowing their eyes at me, their minds surely in the gutter. The fact that their suspicions are founded makes the situation all the more awkward. We just studied and went sightseeing. There's nothing more to it. After such a flagrant lie, I realized that it may not have been the best step, considering Shizun's connections with and her total lack of restraint when it comes to questioning someone she suspects of telling untruths. I really have no idea how she's going to take it, but she'll find out eventually anyway. It isn't as if it's really her business who might date in any case. And yes, Lily and I are going out now. While Misha receives the news with an enthusiastic smile, Shizun gives a look of mild surprise, somewhat masked by her cool demeanor. Whoever you date is your business. I hope you two will go well together. Well, thank you, Shizun. That's probably one of the nicest things you ever said about Lily. Even though it's indirectly through me, but you know, hey. Misha gives a look that says this is the most quarter I could possibly receive on the matter. It's all I wanted, really. After she says this, though, Shizun begins to sign something else, then stops herself and shakes her head at Misha to prevent her from translating. Normally, I think this is strange enough, but the awkwardly casual wave Shizun gives before walking off with Misha in tow adds to my confusion. Shizun's hardly the kind of person to pull a punch or communicate without forethought. I shrug my shoulders at the duo's odd behavior and look towards the Hanako's desk, but see that her chair is empty. She was definitely here before, so I guess she just didn't feel like waiting. I'll go grab some food alone then. Walking down the hallway to the unused room that's become a second home to 3 students in particular, I mournfully look down at the plastic-wrapped salad roll and juice box in my hand. Are we still drinking juice boxes in high school? That cafeteria's food really is unappetizing. Maybe I'll consider this my penance for my recent indiscretions. Opening the door, I noticed one less quiet figure than I'd expected. It's strange. Despite having known Lily for months, I can't help thinking back to the very first time I opened this door and saw her silently sitting in the sunlight. Just as she did then, she slowly opens her eyes, unmoving as they are, and calmly addresses me. Good morning, Hisao. It's afternoon, I think. Has Hanako been around? She skittered out of class without even me noticing. Lily cradles her cheek thoughtfully as I take a seat, my bag taking its place against the closest leg of the table, and my unsatisfying meal neatly set out in front of me. She did appear for a time. She said she had to study for the upcoming exams and left for the library. We found ourselves not entirely believing her words. Well, at least her intentions are in the right place. She's sweet, but she needn't go this far to let us have our space. I might talk to her about it sometime. Probably for the best. For a while, we quietly eat our meals, Lily elegantly nibbling on her sandwiches and sipping her tea as I eat what tastes like a garden sandwiched in dry dough. The atmosphere feels slightly strained, neither of us knowing quite what to say to each other now that our small talk has dried up. Eventually, we both finish our food, with no conversation forthcoming for quite some time. Eventually, though, Lily's soft voice breaks the silence. A lot happened back there, didn't it? Again, silence, with both our minds on the same topic, though. I think I have my feelings on that sorted out. I know everything happened in kind of a hurry. Oh, yeah, it did. But I don't regret anything that happened in Hokkaido, not one thing. Hisao? Slightly tense, I take her hands in mine, half to feel her and half to settle my own nerves. I stand by my words back there, Lily. I love you and I won't leave you. I only wish for you to think the same. She silently reflects for a long time, which feels like an eternity. Her reverie comes to an end as she takes one hand from mine, placing it over them as she leans her body forward and stands out of her chair. After a moment's hesitation, her face slightly pensive, her lips meet mine for a brief moment. Mine feels as if it briefly stopped at that moment, barely registering Lily sitting back in her chair and smiling back at me with ever so slightly reddened cheeks. Hearing that makes me very happy, Hisao. I would be glad to stay with you. Maybe it would be good to slow things down a bit compared to before. We still have school after all, and our exams. She gives a mischievous giggle which proves to be contagious. That might be a good idea indeed. Do you think you'll fare well in your exams? It's only one day until they arrive, as you say. I probably should have studied more, but I think I've got a good enough head to manage. That said, I had to bat off Misha and Shizun. Is your class as worried about the exams as mine? She lets out an exasperated sigh, all but confirming it. I'm thankful for the atmosphere becoming a bit lighter. I think so. I've already been asked for help by 2 of my classmates, and there'll be no doubt more. Think of it as your first training in being a teacher, maybe? That's probably a good way to think of it. On that note, how are you faring in your English studies? I remember it was far from your strongest subject. The few sentences you memorized to speak to my mother aren't likely to help. Dang, right on the mark. You got me. If you don't mind, would you be able to possibly help me in that regard, please? It would be my pleasure to help you, Hisao, but in exchange, oh, what are you going to ask me? She lowers her eyebrows at me, her coquettish nature tentatively coming to the fore. No problem at all. You'll probably be better off with some help in your studies, though. She beams a smile at me, one of girlish victory that nearly makes me blush. I get the feeling she's aware of how to use her face to twist my judgment, so I should probably be more on guard. Here and now, though, a study group seems like an expedient way for both of us to shore up on our more lacking skills. The school bell rings out, reminding us that time isn't going to stand still. Huh! Lunchtime's over already. It sure is easy to lose track of the time here. This room's so far from the other clubs and activities. Not much sound can reach us. That's probably most of the reason why. A place far from all the others, alone with just one person whom she loves. As Lilly stands and collects her bag and cane, my thoughts are cast back to the time we spent in Hokkaido. Before I go, Akira and I are having a homecoming party in my room tomorrow. Will you be able to come? And back again. My schedule is free, so I should be able to make enough room in my study time to make it. Good to hear, Hisao. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're back from Scotland. Once exams are over, we should have some more time to ourselves. Holidays start soon after, too. We can start the holidays with Tanabata then, just as we promised at the school festival. She brings her hand to her cheek and laughs slightly nervously, recalling the event as I silently thank myself for managing to remember. It seems odd to see her react in such a way, though it's not like I never saw her embarrassed before. I'd better be going. Farewell, Hisao. Bye. Whether it's out of habit or just a stubborn desire for one small fragment of normality, I hold my hand up in farewell just as I always do. At least I'm consciously aware that I'm doing it now. I think I'm beginning to see a bigger picture than I ever have before. Not only with Lilly, but also my life ahead. The chains of my past are finally breaking. Okay, well, things seem to have gone back to normal. The awkwardness of what happened to Hokkaido is now probably fully put behind. And let's quickly do a little save here. Looks like we're going to go straight to the homecoming party. And we'll see what happens with Akira and whoever else Akira brings with her. Who knows, maybe Shizun's little brother. I forgot his name already. I don't even know. Hitakai, that's what it is, Hitakai. I had to think about it for a second. But yeah, so it looks like everything's back to normal, except, exams are looming on everybody's mind, and everybody's freaking out. But it's good that Lilly and Hisao are going to be forming a study group together. Hopefully they'll include Hanako in on that, and they can work together to graduate. So, yep, we'll see what's going on in pajamas and suits. I wonder who's going to be in the suit and who's going to be in the pajama. We'll find out next time. See you later.